Well, hello there and welcome to Bitcoin Bankers. My name's Shannon, and today we're going to look at some markets, go over the markets, go over a couple of coins that I've been sort of investing in and created in my portfolio, and give you a couple of tips on some of the best ways to sort of do things without getting into debt, without borrowing. That's the big name of the game here for Bitcoin Bankers, is to basically start your own bank, but start from scratch. Okay, this is all about starting from scratch with a couple of bucks and working your way up. Okay, finding old resources and things that you don't need and you can make money from. So why don't we have a look at the markets today? And we're going to start with a coin that I actually bought just last night, and it's SIA coin. Okay, SIA coin, basically, SIA coin. Now, I bought in last night. I saw a bit of movement going on, and I came in probably around 49 mark somewhere, around about here. Okay, and it sort of was going up and down, up and down. It dropped right down, and now just this morning I've come in and been watching it do this nice big boom today. So it's literally up about 6%. It's up at 52. It's going well, going really nicely. So if we have a bit of a look, that's on the 15-minute. You can sort of watch that. Let's go to the day. So you can see that it's sort of really, from its starting point, it's just started off, it's dropped down, it's made its moves, and it's lost a bit of volume. This is all normal for sort of relatively newer coins. I don't know how old SIA really is. It doesn't look like it's that old. I haven't done a lot of research on it at the moment. I was just scanning the markets for some sort of low-end coins, some small coins that I can sort of put some money into and make it worth my while. So basically, SIA is right down the bottom here. It's sort of sitting on pretty much one of its lowest value points it's been at since its inception. And for me, I think this is a really good spot to get in. Look, even though it's shooting up at the moment, as we saw before, there's nothing stopping you from sort of having a bit of a jump in and just holding long. We're looking at long coins at the moment, things just to hold from now till probably December, January next year. Okay, we just want to see how they're going to play, want to see how they're working, and then we'll reassess in the new year. Okay, probably around January for most of these coins that I'm showing you today. So this is SIA, SIA. COIN, so SIA coin. Now, if you're new to the markets and you don't know a lot about how to do all these trading and charts, this website is called Trading View. You can sign up for free. You just get one or two ad pop-ups every time you change something around. But it's a great site, plenty of tools. You can put in a lot of all these you can use pretty much free, okay, all these options. So jump on YouTube, have a look at a couple of videos on just some basics on using TradingView. It's really good. The other website you want to use that most people know about is called CoinMarketCap. Now, CoinMarketCap, don't use these graphs here if you want to get into analysis, technical analysis. Just look at the information here, because these graphs are really terrible. All they really do is show you the the value, where it's moving and things like that. You can scan in and have a bit of a look and things like that, but you can't do any kind of analysis on it. It's just to tell you, give you a guidance, and their intention was mainly just to give you a guidance on what the percentage value is for gains during the day. So if we have a look, we've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you've got every coin, everything that's pretty much on the market that's put itself out there will usually be on it. There's one or two in another video that I've covered that aren't on it. They reckon they're coming out soon, but we'll wait and see. So you got CoinMarketCap up here. You can look at the coins, or you can look at the tokens, or you can look at the whole market. Now, there's about 800 out there now at the moment, so there's a lot of coins to look at, a lot of coins to choose from. You can go to trading volume. You can have a look at the currency. You can have a look at how the exchanges work. I'll just go to this one and show you this. So it shows you the exchange, what's sort of trending at the moment, and the volume is over the last 24 hours, their price, and the percentage gain. Okay, just 24-hour volume rankings. Okay, Bitfinex, Bithumb, Coin1, it's got all of them there. Binance, Poloniex, these are all exchanges. Okay, GDAX seems to be a reasonably popular one people talk about. Bitflyer, never heard of it. Don't know what that one is. It's probably China Bitcoin. And so you got all those as well. Other things you can do with this is a good general information tool website, this one. So you can look at the currency of the 24-hour, if it does it. There we go. So you can look at your coin, and it's kind of swapped it around now. It has your coin and it has the exchange, okay, and what exchange is trading at what amount of volume and at what price. Ethereum, and so on. Okay, very long list. You can go to trending. You've got trending tools. You can look at your biggest gains and your biggest losers. Okay, so biggest gainers at the moment. I've never heard of Mao Zedong, Crypto Escudo. I've never heard of these ones. Bitcoin Gold, I've heard of that. Elixir, of course. Some of these I've heard. Salt, it's very new in the market. I think it's only been out a couple of days, a week, something like that. And it's kicked off pretty well, but you want to look at investing long term in that. They actually look at lending, so they'll take your cryptos and give you fiat cash for that. So that could have some potential in the future. We're not quite sure. We'll have to wait and see. I'm a little skeptical on it, but we'll have to wait and see. Monerium, never heard of that. So there's a lot of these small coins that are actually gaining value at the moment, but don't let that deceive you into thinking that, you can pick a small coin and it'll shoot off. Doesn't always work like that. But, if you've got a couple of dollars, you want to put one in and give it a try, go for it. But always go to the website, read who they are, read what they are. Do your research on anything you put your money into. Remember, it's your money you've earned. Put your money into it. So that's cryptocurrency. Okay, coin market cap. Okay, so going back here for a minute. You got to realize too, some coins you can buy on some markets, others you can't. Because I recently wanted to get into EOS, but it was only on a couple of markets, and I didn't feel like signing up to yet another one. So I just thought, well, maybe I can do that next time I got a few extra bucks. I'll make the effort. I didn't want to just sign up because I already had Bittrex here, and I'll show you Bittrex shortly. I didn't want to sign up to yet another one and just for one coin. So have a look at the exchange, see what they're worth to you as far as are there enough coins on there that you want to sort of going to be going there on a regular basis, you know what I mean, to purchase. And if you've got a wallet, put them in your wallet. Okay, so Sia Coin was the first one. Another one is P-Toy. Now, this one I'm very skeptical on. I don't know if it's got the legs to last. I've heard some rumors, and I mentioned in another video that it could be, some people think it might be a bit of a scam one, but we'll see. P-Toy. It's called Patientory. The concept is interesting. Concept is good. Whether they actually have something to offer, time will tell. So technically, it's actually down from where I bought. I think I bought around 49, 47 maybe. And it's 42 at the moment, 42 cents. This is a USD, okay? So you can see where it started. It's come in, it's gone to a bit of a downturn. It's gained a little bit, lost a little bit, and it's there. I can't say a lot about this coin. I don't know a lot about it. I was just typically just looking for some ones that can potentially go parabolic in the next 6-8 months, and this could be one of them. I've done nothing but make a loss on it so far, but look, that's you got to accept that. Okay, so it's Patientory. Next one is let's go to Civic. It's actually CVC, so I'll just go CVC. Okay, Civic to dollar. All right. So it's made a little bit of a gain at the moment. It's in the green. That's good. But I'll show you shortly something on Bittrex. And while I like Bittrex at the moment, it's a pretty good exchange. Also have Poloniex, but I really don't use that much at all at the moment. But they do have some interesting options on there that are worth looking at. Might cover that in another video. But at the moment, yet another one I'm looking at long term for hopefully have a little bit of parabolic growth there, straight up. Look, most of these may not. They may, but there's a growing interest. And next year, I think the interest will get larger. A lot more people are starting to know about Bitcoin. But it's still very... the whole crypto circle is still actually quite small, considering what it is. And once people start really starting to get to know about it and move into it, I think the biggest hurdle that a lot of people find when they're sort of new to the crypto market is that you have to convert your dollars, find an exchange that you can convert your dollars to cryptos with. And if you're in Australia, BTC Markets is a very good one. That's what I use to just do that conversion and buy And once you bought those things, you can sort of do what you like with them. You can move them somewhere else. But I only have a very, very small volume at the moment, so I just move them around to different ones where I need to. But BTC Markets, if you're in Australia, is a good exchange, and they'll allow you to do those things. Just look into it a bit more, do some research. Okay, so that's Civic. There's a fair bit to talk around Civic, as it's kind of conjoined with a couple of other coins. I think it's ADDX and Neo or Amigo, one of the two. So there's kind of this collaboration between some coins there that have a potential to be moving up reasonably soon as they all sort of move up together. So you can do a little bit more research on those. At the moment, I'm just going through my portfolio for you so you can see what I'm sort of put my money in. Okay. Next one is, let's do Ethereum. I bought Ethereum a little while ago. This is where my major holding is in. Okay, Ethereum to dollar. Where's... I should have the Coinbase. The Coinbase one. Where's the Coinbase one? Not there. That's odd. So I got in at, where was it? About 279, 280. I think I got in about 280, so about here. It's had some growth lately. I saw the potential for it to start growing. My strategy was this. I just want to try and find my Ethereum to dollar Coinbase. Where's the Coinbase one? Ethereum dollar Coinbase. Doesn't want to bring it up. How odd. Oh, well. Maybe I'll try it the other way around. The reason being is because I have some some lines that I have in there. Coinbase, ETH. There it is. I wonder why it didn't come up before. Okay, so here's some lines here. Look, I got my my trend line running all the way up here. I've also put in a bit of an Elliott wave analysis here. See if I can stretch it out. No, it's not going to do it. Okay, never mind. So I want to stretch this out a bit so you can see a little bit of this. I've done this on the 1 day. You have to forgive my throat. For some reason it gets a little dry when I start talking a lot. Now, I put in my Elliott wave, and it's kind of starting, all the Ethereum's here is starting to move off the path. So if I get into the 30-minute, you see it's kind of moving away from this. It was just not ideal for me. However, I've still made a gain on it. My strategy was that while Bitcoin was low, Ethereum was essentially looking pretty good to make a bit of a gain in the time that Bitcoin would stay low. Ethereum was, I kind of made a bit of a punt that, or a guess that Bitcoin would, Ethereum would see a bit more of a gain, a bit more of a faster gain, while Bitcoin was still low and going through all its FUD and all that sort of thing. So I took a bit of a gamble and said, well, the way it's looking, there should be some upward movement here pretty soon. That was happening. It was developing. It did move along. What I watched was it move from sort of up towards this line of resistance here. It poked its head over again, sort of dropped back, poke over, drop back. Then it really jumped over. I thought, great, this is looking good. Then it had a pullback again. So look, market manipulation out there somewhere. And it's just one of those things that unfortunately couldn't be helped. Now, I was hoping that it would step up, that it would go off. It has broke the 300 support line. It's just moving a lot slower than I anticipated. But it's up, and that's a good thing. So it's up about 6%, 6.5%. So that's still pretty good. You know, that's where I wanted to go. Last night I was sitting there going, should I really sort of move away from this? Because Bitcoin has sort of jumped up quite a lot. Now it's back up around 4,400. And I've kind of look, it can probably go a lot higher, but I just want to stay in Ethereum for a little bit longer now. I think, well, I've kind of missed where I should have got in with Bitcoin. I'm not really going to gain a lot by selling off my Ethereum and jumping into that. If Ethereum goes up even to 350, it could. It's just going a lot slower than what I anticipated, but I think long term, maybe by December, we could see Ethereum up a lot higher. It just depends on how some things go. There's some changes coming up for Ethereum. There's another fork for Bitcoin, so it's going to be a rocky time. I think between now and December, it's going to be a little bit bumpy, a little bit sort of off-putting to a lot of people. And I think once we get sort of into December, January, I think things will cool, and then we're going to get ready for a new market run in the new year, early in the new year. But between now and then, you will see some gain. I'm sure you'll see some gain. We're already seeing it. How much? I don't know. I think I'm not going to say it's risky. I just think if you're going to jump in now, be prepared for a bit of a bumpy ride, because we really don't know where these things are going. So look at some ICOs, sit in long term and go from there. I think that's the best option. That's what I'm taking anyway. So I'm going to hold on to my Ethereum. I'm going to let it grow a little bit more and just see how it watches. I'm prepared to miss this wave of Bitcoin at the moment because it will come down again. It might go up to about 7,000-8,000, and then I think it'll sort of go for a correction down to maybe 4.5 again. And then on that one, the next wave, I think that's the one that everyone wants to be on. So that's where it's going for now. That's where I think Ethereum, Bitcoin, that's what's going on. But they're just sort of off the top of my head speculations. I have my reasons for it, but I'll just wait and see how they go. I think it's going to be bumpy between now and December. So that's my Ethereum hold. That was my strategy. I wanted to sit in, try and beat Bitcoin up, and I was going to sell out. If it got to about 320, 350, I was going to sell out, jump back into Bitcoin and around 384 and ride Bitcoin up. It didn't work out that way. Ethereum moved too slowly. There was a lot of movement. If we go to, are we on the 1 day here? Let's have a look. Yep, we're on the 1 day. So if we go have a look, there was a big sort of overbuy, and then it's just sort of eased off, and the time it took to sort of ease off and come back in, it's kind of sort of mid-range. We got a lot of space for it to grow and move. All over, though, generally speaking, the markets are bullish. Okay, the markets are bullish, and we got a lot of good runs on a lot of things. So, day volume, it's moving, making its way up slowly, but as you can see, it's they're kind of sitting pretty close together. The signal and the MACD is sitting close together, and so there's not a lot of wild movement there. It's just very steady, which I guess a lot of people like. Probably a good thing. So that's it for Ethereum. Let's see what I also have. Ethereum Classic I bought into at $10. I was pretty happy to get in at that. So we go to this one. And let's see where we are. That was $9. So I got in around here, and I've had a growth. It's just growing. So she's starting to hit this resistance line here at $13. It got up there the other day and then sort of dropped back a little bit. Still upward trend, pretty good upward trend. I think you might see something interesting happen. Might have a bit of a good breakout here, and that's what we're talking next week, end of next week. We might see a bit of a change, might see some growth and a bit of a boost. Have to wait and see. But I think a fair few people have seen that Ethereum Classic is a pretty good buy at the moment. It used to be up around $20-something, maybe $24 originally. When I was first looking at it back in June, July, came down to 10 and it's working its way back up. So it'll definitely get back at this where it was up here, $22. Yeah, $22. So it's definitely heading back up that way and beyond. It's just a matter of time. So if we have a look on our scale, it's not till November. We might be looking back around the $20 mark. We could have a big jump in, a good buy in. So it could go, but it's on an upward trend, and that's the main thing. A lot of volume sort of coming in. There's a lot of space to buy. She's getting ready to sort of line up for a good run upwards, I think. MACD's looking healthy. Signal's looking healthy. The crossover was right where I I predicted it would go right here in this region, and we started seeing that growth right up this way, which is good. So looking healthy, looking good. Now what else have I got into? Let's have a look. I'm going over to Bittrex now, and in Bittrex you've got all your markets here. It's a reasonably simple one to operate. If you want to see all your markets, you just click on the Bittrex logo. It'll show you your Bitcoin markets, Ethereum, and your USD Tether. Bit slow to load today. Must be the weather. So here we go. So here's all your Bitcoins, Bitcoin markets, and you've got many, many, many pages of them. If you want to make it quick, put your search in at the top. Okay, Ethereum markets and your USD markets. Okay, that just means that, if you've got your Bitcoin, you just buy in Bitcoin. You've got Ethereum, just buy them with Ethereum, things like that. Now I'm going to go to my wallet, and you can see here. This is what I like. Okay, so here's my coins. I've got Civic, Sia Coin, Patient Tory. I've got MadeSafe. MadeSafe, I like MadeSafe. It is down quite a lot at the moment. Litecoin, I didn't know. Oh, okay. Hide the zeros. There we are. That's better. So I've got MadeSafe, and that's just Bitcoins that I'm purchasing with. So it kind of shows that it shows you gains and your losses. NEM, that's my other one. So we'll go to NEM in a minute. So NEM is up, or XEM if you want to call it that. Civic, suffering a bit of a loss at the moment. Sia Coin, big gain. Okay, so that's 4.5% in one night. I think is pretty good with that. Patient Tory, that's been down for a little while. MadeSafe Coin, disappointing performance, but look, if it's going through a natural sell-off, then fair enough. I think it might sort of move a little bit later. It's always been one of those ones. It's a very, very long-term coin, so something to just grab and hold. And that's what I have there on those ones, as well as my Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Okay, I also have bought into an ICO, which is not released yet, called Electronium. And I'll do a video on Electronium very soon. Okay, so why don't we go have a look at NEM. NEM. Yeah, that one will do. Remember, the prices that you're seeing here are market prices from particular exchanges, okay? Okay, so put in another Elliott wave here. This is it's probably not the best wave, but this is kind of where we're looking at the moment. Again, like Ethereum, it's kind of gone off course a bit, which is disappointing. Maybe I didn't do the wave right, but I don't see an error with my wave technically. Yeah, just it's hard to say with these coins because there's so many things going on in the background. You've got to do your research on who these people are, what they're doing, what are their who's part of the team. Look at are they meeting their goals that they set during the white paper? What developments have they made? What is the coin actually presenting, and all those sorts of things. So they're the things you look at. Some people like me, I generally just more have a look at the movement of the coin and where it is. Is it looking healthy? Is it looking like it's got some growth factor there, as well as the other factors? I kind of look at these and say, okay, that's because I'm more prefer to do shorter trading and day trading and things like, or maybe limit it to periods of weeks. That's why I bought the Ethereum last Sunday. Let it run for a week, see how it goes. If it's not performing, dump it and move it somewhere else. But it has been performing. It's given me a benefit. And that's worked out for me, so I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so that's basically XEM as well. And I think if you have a look on the... I've shown this in other charts before, but if you have a bit of a look, it's definitely got its upward movement. It's got growth, and it's healthy. Look at this big boom here. Big boom, more growth. It's kind of reached its expectancy there, but when you have a look at these values, they're not that high over. They could have kept going. 75, 76, could have kept going to 90, but maybe that's just sitting there. So you got all this volume long term. There was a sell-off. We've reduced a little bit of that. It's building up again. I think NEM is going to be one that has some juice over the next 6 to 8 months. Definitely got some juice. I think it's a good looking coin. that's my opinion, and that one I chose due to its appearance and its potential. Okay, so that's basically what we're looking at with the markets. There's been, a lot of the FUD has settled down with a lot of the idiots coming out saying, Bitcoin's fraud, Bitcoin's this, because most of those people were shown to be the biggest frauds in the world who played the stock market like you wouldn't believe and ripped so many people off and made millions of it. And they're now coming out telling us that we're involved in a fraud. So no thanks, mate. The Wolf of Wall Street, that guy, he came out and said his piece the other week. Jamie Dimon said his piece. Then you have people on the other side, which is McAfee. John McAfee came out. He's even got his own coin. And he said, look, Bitcoin's here to stay. Microsoft, Bill Gates said Bitcoin's here to stay. And what they're trying to do at the moment, the mainstream, is they're trying to get you focused on the blockchain technology. Why? Because Microsoft, JP Morgan, they're all involved in Ethereum. Okay, they've bought shares or they bought Bitcoin as well recently. JP Morgan's bought Bitcoin, and most of these other guys definitely have Bitcoin. They'd be stupid not to, But they also have an interest in Ethereum, in the Ethereum blockchain and that kind of technology. A lot of people dog Ripple. I like Ripple, but I haven't really had any of it. It was the first coin I ever bought, and kind of sold off because it didn't really work for me. I'd like to hold some more because I think it might have some potential maybe mid next year, maybe. Because they really work in the mainstream banking system, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't think banks are big evils. I think the people who control the mega banks are evil. But that's not to say the institutions themselves are evil. They just lend and borrow. Now, speaking of lending and borrowing, I'll just see what time I've got in this video. It's probably been a little while now, but it's getting on. So I'm going to do a couple more videos this week. I'm going to try and get... There's a number of things I want to talk about. I want to do a video on Electronium. I want to do a video on just ICOs in general, how to deal with ICOs. I want to do one a little bit on lending and some of these ICOs that are out there and that are being pumped. And I don't necessarily think they're a good idea, because if you have a look at the white papers on these particular coins, they're always targeting small to medium enterprises, and they're offering borrowing. Okay, you give them your coins and they'll give you some fiat currency, and if you can't pay that back, which a lot of small companies have trouble paying back loans and things because the way that they get paid is usually delayed. And so if there's some kind of delay, and if you have your contract in a smart contract and you don't meet that specific time period, even though the payment might be another 24 hours away, perhaps you can negotiate this, maybe not. But the whole thing with smart contracts, I really want to have a bit more of a discussion about. I think while the technology is a clever idea, I think we've got a long way to go before I'd be trusting them, because you can't reason with a program, you can't reason with script. You know what I mean? It would cost money to rewrite it. You have to pay someone to come in and rewrite the script if there's alterations you want to make. Now, there's arguments that say, oh, well, it goes in this and it goes in there. It's like, yeah, but if you've ever seen a business contract and how much is involved in that, and some of these guys like Cliff High and that, they all argue that, oh, well, it's only a little bit of script and it's a little bit of contract. The reason we have lawyers and the reason we have brokers and the reason we have exchanges and people who do these things is so we can have a human experience where we can reason with the person, where we can negotiate with the person. If you have a smart contract that just says this, this, and this, and if you don't meet that contract, it's much easier for the company that you're dealing with, okay, to bring penalties against you. You have no recourse. You have no sympathy. You know what I mean? And so now a lot of you may be wondering what I'm actually talking about with all this stuff, but like I said, I will explain it a bit more. But there are a couple of particular coins out there that are dealing with smart contracts, lending money and accounting and stuff, and where they are targeting small to medium enterprises that usually have a bit of trouble getting finance flowing through when their pay schedules from their clientele are on a particular time basis, usually a monthly basis. They might have 20 days, 30 days to have have all their bills met, okay, or the payments due. Okay, and when those payments come in, okay, they might not always come in on time. Okay, and that's what I'm talking about. So when you're dealing with this big push of smart contracts and the cleverness of smart contracts, it's like, yes, it's interesting. But the problem is, I think they have the potential at the moment, because they're still in their early stage, they have the potential to cause a lot more legal problems than people realize. Okay, and they can be a lot more. I think they're going to be a lot more brutal, as far as being able to allow equity between two, or equality, I should say, between two parties to a contract. Okay, the purpose of a contract is so two parties can be on equal standing. Okay, if you have one where is a lender and the other is a borrower, and the negotiation contract between them is based on some automatic computer code, instead of having a judge, where you'd have a normal contract, you have a judge, so you can go to court and you can do the proceedings. Yes, they can be a little expensive. You're going to have a computer that'll just say, you didn't pay on time, contract eliminated, you owe this much. Any assets that you've put in will be taken, they'll be absorbed by the lender, and you get nothing. So that's the danger that I see there. Anyway, I won't blab on any longer. That's the video for today. So all the best, and I'll see you in the next one. Bitcoin bankers, please subscribe, please like, please share. It's great having you on board, and hello to all the new subscribers as well. Thank you very much. See you next time.